Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here at Matagorda, and here we can see our first boat is arrived. The breeze has been picking up pretty steadily for a while, and it's two-wire sailing. They have been jib reaching for quite a while. You can see Steve on the jet ski, zooming in right behind him to get the shot. Ian's still giving him, John, a little bit of board to get down. John has just been sailing a ripping beam jib reach. He has been really moving for the last 15 minutes. And now a nice, comfortable turn down. He is done with his work for the day. And they're easing on down to the line. What an anticlimax for the speed that these guys had laid on for a long time. He's going to go ahead and round it up and then back down through the line. Looking for some ground crew. And there's their whistle. They are through the line. And that is, let's see, not quite 7 hours elapsed. That's 6 hours, 55 minutes elapsed. And we've got two more boats in sight right now. There's Tiffany, who she had the best push this morning. Sent him off perfectly out of the surf. Held on longer. She told me her secret. I can't quite tell you what it is, but she's got a secret for how to push these guys out through the surf. And it definitely worked this morning. These guys had a great launch, and here they are first to the beach. The breeze was only, it was a very mild 8, maybe 8 onshore. The direction has not changed at all, but we have felt an increase in velocity, a significant increase in velocity. We've got probably maybe 10, 12. The third one's on the other side of the jetty. We've got 3 boats in sight now. All jib and main. We don't see any kites out there. The angle would be just too hot for a kite unless you had given up a tremendous amount of distance by sailing offshore. And we have a couple of reports that there were a couple of teams that tried that outside run. Thank you very much for the folks who have been posting positions onto the Great Texas 300 Facebook page. Mr. Galway in particular, thank you very much for keeping track of our fleet, giving us ETAs. So the rumor
here in Matagorda, Texas, we're having a good time. There's a whole stack of gumbo over there getting ready to be cooked up, and it's going to be really, really delicious. It was really delicious last year. Now, I saw the secret mixture of hot sauces that they had over there, Dub, and it was pretty incredible. All right, I'm going to mess with some settings here.
Any chance this mic is live?
There's no chance of that at all. That mic is not working, John Williams. So let me toss you this one while I do some plugging and reworking. There's what we're looking at there. That's the end of the finish line. All right. Here, hold this for a second. I'm going to fix up our scenario.
All right, I'll hold this. You do that Captain Ron thing you do. That celebration you heard just upwind of us. That guy right there. Hi, George. There's Jose. Jose Cerdas has eyes on the next boat, and he's feeling awful confident that that's an Acra 20. Think so? Okay.
All right, so we have sort of a confirmation from the crew's father, who is very excited. This might be Lee Wickland, Team Chums, coming in here. Second place, leg 2 of the Great Texas 300. What do you think about that, Dub?
Well, I'm still pretty entertained by Jet Ski Steve. Kind of bobbing around out there. He's orbiting, waiting to track the next team in. I can't wait to see his head cam footage.
Pretty exciting times here on the beach in Matagorda. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much to Surf City Catamarans for sponsoring our transportation here. We appreciate that. A full list of sponsors can be had by going to the website.
Place. Jeremy has done a great job bringing a lot of the AC stuff out to the masses. And if you're interested in local Santa Cruz politics, he can give you some of that too.
No more local politics. That's harder to cover than the America's Cup, which is pretty difficult from my perspective.
See a lot of spray coming off the leeward side of these two boats. They're both looking pretty hungry. At this point, you know they've got eyes on each other. There's not enough separation there. I think they're both fighting really hard to be the first one through the line. It's funny, it was Jake Cole that told me a story once about how you can have separation from the fleet all day long and not see anybody, and you're just kind of doing your thing and you're doing the best you can, but once you start converging on that checkpoint, you start seeing other boats. Jake always told me that kind of took it up a notch.
So that black dot on the horizon there is the second boat that will hit the beach here, barring any catastrophe, of course. They're approximately, I'd say, a half mile to a mile out right now. Have a good head of steam. The wind is probably blowing around 12 knots right now, directly on shore here, Matagorda, Texas. And we have the wonderful...
The outside boat and the boat in the lead there is USA 2. USA 2. I don't think it's Quicksilver. That's... Yeah, that's not... I can't remember who had USA 2. I don't see the Quicksilver sticker. Yeah, they got one. Now that I would say that Chris officially clangs when he walks, and right behind him, Burline has no choice. He's got to hoist his kite as well. If he's got any shot of maintaining those seconds, or even picking Sailboat Shop off at the line. Oh, we got a daggerboard on the deck now. Okay, Chris is dropping the kite now. They were being driven far, far too off. And now they're going to jibe for the finish. And I'll tell you what, that spinnaker move did not pick up time on... Little bit of a traffic jam. They've been close all day, and they're still glued together. Miguel, their team manager, working the wheels under the boat now, and they've got a clean shot to back all the way up, right through Jeremy. Nice and easy, fellas. Plenty of time. Good job. Smiles all around. Now that they're in the sand, I don't see a frown at all. Come on, Blinky, kite up, kite down, kite up, kite down. Big smiles all the way around the fleet there. Yeah, you get a lot of finger pointing, a little bit of fist pounding. One more boat to come out of the surf. So very close finish there between second and third. Only about 15 seconds apart unofficially. Team Sailboat Shop just nipping it there in the end. They were ahead as they came around the jetty, and they've maintained their lead. But I'll tell you, Quicksilver really made up some ground there in the middle distance. About 20 minutes since we saw Tomko Billings of Two Wire Sailing hit the beach. Where's the orange flag?
So John Williams, Mike Berline said that Team Sailboat Shop are monsters at two-sail reaching. Mike Berline and his crew were ahead for a very, very long time. And then just in the last couple of miles, Team Sailboat Shop actually got them. So they were just cranking it.
Well, it looked like they still stayed awfully tight. It sure looked to me like Quicksilver made up some ground from the jetty to this point, but it was definitely clearly Sailboat Shop ahead from the jetty on.
Yeah.
So
they said for the whole day, basically, they were in second place. And
We kind of like just passed everybody as they were going to the beach. We just kept going on upwind, and so
maintain the height.
they were a beam of us, and we just kept getting further and further out. And eventually, they had to come upwind too, and that's when we started driving over people. And that's
Wow.
That's how we got
That's
everybody today.
that's pretty remarkable. Were you the only boat that held that outside line?
Yeah. It paid.
Clued into it, huh? Nice job.
very nice seeing the guys. That was awesome.
So, any issues with the boat at all? Do you have any repair work that you need to do today?
I don't think so.
No, we didn't. I don't think we broke anything.
We need to put more safety crap on the boat, so if something breaks, we have a backup on there.
Oh.
That's what we were noticing this morning, that all those thin little lines everywhere. I think we're going to start doubling up on the spinnaker supports and some of the other stuff that looks really thin.
Yeah, the only thing we lost was a VHF antenna.
Well, at least you still got the radio.
Yeah, we got the expensive part.
Now, how did the radio antenna come off?
The waves just unscrewed it.
Ah, the Coriolis action found in the Northern Hemisphere unspun their VHF. 21 mph. Excellent. That's a good day in kind of middle wind.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
We were reaching, and we were seeing 17 and a half, 18 knots on the last part of the middle last reach.
Yeah, you guys were clearly lit up. As soon as you came around the jetty, it looked like it was just beam reach, get in the jib, and hang on.
Actually, coming around the jetty was the slowest, sloppiest part.
Lightened up, and and we had to start driving deeper. And the problem was that we were way outside of Berline, and they drove straight by the jetty, and they had a better line because they could stay on the wire while we were having to
Work it
come
low.
deep. So we didn't work low enough early enough.
But it worked out.
So, but we figured we were going to pull the kite, but it didn't really get the right angle until we were right in here.
Well, I'll tell you what happened there. You had talked about it and you decided to do it, right?
Yeah.
So you had a plan.
Yeah.
So the kite goes up nice and smooth, and you guys took off a little bit, not a whole lot, and then kite came down. But you caught Quicksilver by surprise.
Yeah.
They had no choice than to go ahead and go to the kite. So
They put their kite up.
Yeah.
they put their kite up. It wasn't even a clean set, and they never got the kite jibed around very well. So you actually put a few more seconds on them just by kind of blowing their mind there. That was so. Psychological warfare is alive and well in the catamaran fleet.
Finish line. We're shallow, man.
Yeah, there's a couple of bars there. Keep that in mind for your pusher tomorrow morning.
We hit a good, 20, 30 yards out. The rotors kicked up.
I couldn't sheet out enough, and it was like I was pulling on those rudders. I'm surprised I didn't break anything. I probably bent something.
Now they are counting the seconds between themselves and Monkey Business. At this point, every second counts. They lost 15 minutes to Monkey Business yesterday, and they're feeling pretty good. They've got about 9.5 minutes on them right now. So they may have pulled even with Monkey Business at this point.
Yeah, very, very interesting racing today. And I just heard a report that we see all the four boats that are left on the horizon.
Outstanding.
So, that's the entire fleet. So pretty close racing today, really.
Over a 91-mile leg, that is pretty close. Because still, it's only been 30 minutes since our leaders hit the sand. Jet Ski Steve is right on him. Pichet is known as a little bit of a ham, so I'm sure he's giving him the monkey business. Lure daggerboard's all the way up. Windward board is all the way up. You're not going to have a whole lot to track on. That board's a little too high. That's almost completely out of the deck.
I think something like that.
They were sailing fast. They were us. It was them, and then Shannon and Pichet and us. And it took all three of us a long time to catch up with Kihara. They were looking good today.
That's remarkable. That's great news. I'm sure that they'll be very pleased with that. Just like we were saying, you must feel a lot better after having, not quite the day you wanted yesterday, to pull a 2 today.
Yeah, as strong as Kihara looked at the start, I'm surprised that they're not up here closer.
Well, we'll have to find out what.
Lee Wickland went into the beach, and the other pack of boats followed him in. And then when we dropped ours and we were maintaining the VMG, then we saw that, I didn't want to get into that pack and fight them. And then have the wind lighten up or something, and then you give all that distance up. They were about 3 miles abeam of us, and we just stayed up. So.
Well, just a third of the way into the leg, made a tactical decision to stay high, maintain the VMG, and that really worked out. I'm kind of surprised how Quicksilver caught up to you again. There's some binos right behind you in that chair. So one boat with a kite up. Team Gretchen. Their mast is getting taller a lot quicker.
Wow, Dub, that's a pretty interesting way to put it, man.
Which part?
The part about the mast getting taller.
Is it pink yet? Oh, that kite's starting to flop.
I predicted Douse here pretty quick. What do you think, Dub?
I can't disagree with you.
They're trying to carry it, though, aren't they?
They sure are.
So it's probably blowing it. I mean, it's in the good, solid low teens right now. The flags are flying. 13, maybe, 14 knots.
We're a little bit.
This up with some transportation funds. And yes, thank you very much.
Yo, baby, really working to keep that kite flowing, but I gotta tell you, just doesn't look fast right now. Now Big Lee Wickland's popping out a kite. He thinks, well, if that C2 can do it, I think I can too. David working to trim it now. It's set. Certainly picked up a couple of knots there, but let's see how long he can hold it. Instantly driven down, about 10 degrees. We'll see if he can hold that angle all the way in. It's going to take both of them on the wire. It's trim. He's looking good. Watch for the puffs to really push him toward the shore. Shannon Galway, Jonathan Atwood coming to the line now. John's still on the wire, Hollywooding. Oh, just stands up on the deck. You can tell this guy has been on monohulls. Kite's going away right on time, and they're through the line. Lee Wickland driving nice and deep now. David's in off the wire. Trying to keep it high, but he's going to lose rudders right about here. There's a sandbar there that's been taking people's rudders away. Yep, there goes the leeward rudder. And he's driving on main alone. Nice job, chums. Right up the beach again with another Worrell landing. Not quite a monkey business landing from yesterday, where I parked it right next to the barbecue, but pretty close. Jeremy Leonard getting right in on that boat with a high res cam. And they're turned and done. Look at all the hands. Look at all the hands they get. This is how this fleet works. Everybody works together. With a little bit of help from Quicksilver, they're in the sand. Team Kihara. This is our final boat for the day. Team Kihara is coming in. I see a rudder up. Looks like that windward rudder is up. Plenty of room to drive down here. Ingrid Bakker and Aaron McCulley of Team Kihara on the Yo Baby Tiger. You'll recognize that boat from last year's event. There goes Aaron Leward pulling aboard. Board's all the way up. And they're going to jibe to bring it in. He had already pulled the windward board. This is going to be a nice, easy ride for them. This is a much more civilized approach to the beach. Working to keep rudders down. Nice and deep, little wing-on-wing catamaran action. And they are through the line. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our whole fleet ashore for the 11th running of the Great Texas 300 here in Matagorda. Everyone's accounted for. All the boats are in safe. We've got about 7 hours and 43 minutes elapsed, roughly, unofficial time, since the race began this morning. And there's Aaron giving Ingrid a nice high five there. And again, there's like 6 people to help get the boat up. But it looks a little heavy. A little further back, Trey. And once again, Jeremy Leonard's there with the high-def cam, getting our team interview for the highlight reel that we'll bring you later. We recognize that a lot of the broadcast is in a lower resolution than you would probably like. It's certainly lower than we would like. We'd love to be up in the HD range, but there just isn't that kind of reception out here on the barrier islands of the Texas Gulf Coast. All 7 boats safe and sound. If you pan around, you can see Mike Burline. It's already stripped down a little bit, picked up the spices, and he's gone to work on dinner. That's the way they do it in this fleet. Last night, we had some terrific barbecue. Tonight we'll be eating gumbo. And I see some chums walking over. Some chums walking over here. I don't even care. That's how I roll. Wow, look at the wrinkles on this hand. You did some work. I am sorry that I hit you that hard. That is SpongeBob SquarePants territory right there.
Definitely need a 10-to-1 on that main sheet.
Ted, you're running 8-to-1?
Yeah.
You're bananas.
It goes faster, but it wears me
Now,
out.
wait a minute. He's got a doubler, right? You got a doubler.
Yeah.
And you're running 8-to-1.
Yeah.
Now, how many skippers do you know that will punish themselves?
It wouldn't. We couldn't. To answer Mike's question, why we drove it into the beach, we were too choked. We couldn't get any speed reaching with you guys. Even though the sail plan we tried everything, and it was just still too choked off. The only way we could really get any decent speed was when we started driving down, and we got into a fast wind lane and actually made a bunch of time up. But then the wind died off on us in there. And I thought with the sun coming out, I thought for sure it's going to heat up the shore. We're going to get the sea breeze. Thought it was going to be our secret weapon. It wasn't. It shot us right in the head.
Clouds all along the shore, so I didn't think we were going to get the sea breeze. Tomko somehow made it pay off, but nobody else did.
He did go into shore?
Yeah.
He came in really tight, though.
Oh, we came in so tight. The jetty's 20 miles down there. We got caught in the corner.
You had to come back out?
Well, yeah, in about 20 acres of sargasso weed. It was bad. It was so bad we couldn't even lock the rudders down. So yeah, it was. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't a better day, but you know, it's distance racing. You know, we did the best we could, and that's what we came up with.
There was a lot of speculation. The first boat that was in sight, there was a lot of speculation. It appeared to be kind of your sailing style, and people kind of thought it was you, and your dad was waving.
One of the big problems were those rudders. I tried to fare them. I think it made them worse because it sounded like brakes on a freight train all day long. Just so bad it was making my hand numb. It was vibrating the boat so bad. So I think we're gonna have to.
So we've got some work to do on the trailing edge of your rudders.
Yeah, definitely. They're bad. And I think that was a huge thing today because we'd get to a certain speed and it just like the boat just felt something was holding it back, and it was so bad. A lot of times we couldn't even tell if we had weeds on the rudders because they were vibrating so bad. So I think that was a huge part of it. I think, you know, with us cutting into the shore, it would have paid off if our rudders would have just been better. So yeah, we got some work to do on that.
All right, well, but that's fixable.
Yeah.
That's easily fixable.
So we got 2 days to try to do better. So I think we're about 30 minutes behind.
Yeah, but that can go away in a single leg.
It's true, but yeah.
No, I mean, you can make up 30 minutes in a leg.
Yeah, that's true. But I only got 2 legs to do it, and they're shorter ones now.
Yeah, a little bit shorter, but still going to be a long day.
I usually come on strong in the last 2 legs, anyways.
You do come on strong. I've discovered that.
Coast. Yeah.
Sometimes the last leg or two are the longer legs.
That's true.
Looks like Jet Ski Steve's coming out of the water.
Did he run the wave runner the whole way?
The whole way. No, he did not.
I'll tell you what, man, when you're not running the kite all that distance, it is a long way to sail.
We'll be right back live again tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. for a 10 a.m. start. We'll also have some highlight reel for you. And it's been a lot of fun so far. The weather's really cooperated. Haven't had a whole lot of surf. In fact, I'm really surprised here at Matagorda right now. It's laying down. I mean, last year when we got here, it was a washing machine. The year before that, it was some of the best surf I'd seen in Texas. But we've been very lucky on wind velocity. We've been very lucky on the size of the surf has been very manageable. Hi, Jer.
Really high.
So
Great stories from the fleet there.
excellent.
Just, you know, tales of heroism on the water. So it was awesome.
Heroism and woe.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds like some of the fleet they have a few things to repair, not too much, you know, but I mean, 90 miles on a sailboat, you know, things are gonna chafe and, you know, break and wear out. And
At least your ego.
Yeah, at least your ego. Hey, do you mind if we swap positions on this beach here?
Do you think that makes more logistical sense?
Yeah, it does, because that side of the beach is a little higher. That's better. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a little thinner. I can feel that.
Thank you very much for joining us. I didn't mean to butt into you or whatever.
No, not at all. I was wrapping up, waiting for you to
Okay,
come, and
sure.
and wanted to thank the folks. We'll be back at 9:30 a.m. for the start here at Matagorda on the way to Surfside.
That's right.
On the final long leg of this Great Texas 300, the 11th running. And obviously, a couple of boats have tightened up here, and a couple of boats have lost a little bit of time. You heard Chums talk about how they've lost now to where there are probably about 30 minutes